Explore the Bible in 1 year with us. Day 55, Exodus 5, Mark 6, Psalm 84, presented by Mount Vernon Wilderness Gathering. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment of what country or state you live in.
Exodus 5, Lexham English Bible. And afterward Moses and Aaron went, and they said to Pharaoh, "Thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, release my people, so that they may hold a festival for me in the desert." And Pharaoh said, "Who is Yahweh, that I should listen to his voice to release Israel? I do not know Yahweh, and also I will not release Israel." And they said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go on a 3-day journey into the desert, and let us sacrifice to Yahweh our God, lest he strike us with plague or with sword." And the king of Egypt said, "Why, Moses and Aaron, do you take the people from their work? Go to your forced labor." And Pharaoh said, "Look, the people of the land are now many, and you want to stop them from their forced labor." And on that day Pharaoh commanded the slave drivers over the people and his foremen, saying, "You must no longer give straw to the people to make the bricks like before. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. But the quota of the bricks that they were making before you must require of them. You must not reduce from it, because they are lazy. Therefore they are crying out, saying, 'Let us go and sacrifice to our God.' Let the work be heavier on the men, so that they will do it and not pay attention to words of deception." And the slave drivers of the people and their foremen went out, and they spoke to the people, saying, "Thus says Pharaoh, I am not giving you straw. You go, get straw for yourselves from whatever you find, because not a thing is being reduced from your work." And the people spread out in all the land of Egypt to gather stubble for the straw. And the slave drivers insisting, saying, "Finish your work for each day on its day, as when there was straw." And the foremen of the Israelites, whom Pharaoh's slave drivers had appointed over them, were beaten by men who were saying, "Why have you not completed your portion of brickmaking as before, both yesterday and today?" And the foremen of the Israelites came and cried out to Pharaoh, saying, "Why do you treat your servants like this? Straw is not being given to your servants, but they are saying to us, 'Make bricks.' And look, your servants are being beaten, but it is the fault of your people." And he said, "You are lazy, lazy. Therefore you are saying, 'Let us go, let us sacrifice to Yahweh.' And now go, work, but straw will not be given to you, and you must give the full quota of bricks." And the foremen of the Israelites saw they were in trouble with the saying, "You will not reduce from your bricks for each day on its day." And they met Moses and Aaron, who were waiting to meet them when they were going out from Pharaoh. And they said to them, "May Yahweh look upon you and judge, because you have caused our fragrance to stink in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, so as to put a sword into their hand to kill us." And Moses returned to Yahweh and said, "Lord, why have you brought trouble to this people? Why ever did you send me? And from the time I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble to this people, and you have certainly not delivered your people." Mark 6, Lexham English Bible. And he went out from there and came to his hometown, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were amazed, saying, "Where did this man get these things? And what is this wisdom that has been granted to this man, and the miracles such as these performed through his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James, and Joses, and Judas, and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us?" And they were offended by him. And Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his hometown, and among his relatives, and in his own household." And he was not able to do any miracle in that place, except to lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. And he was astonished because of their unbelief. And he was going around among the villages teaching. And he summoned the 12 and began to send them out 2 by 2, and gave them authority over the unclean spirits. And he commanded them that they take along nothing for the journey except only a staff, no bread, no traveler's bag, no money in their belts, but to put on sandals, and not to wear 2 tunics. And he said to them, "Whenever you enter into a house, stay there until you depart from there. And whatever place does not welcome you or listen to you as you go out from there, shake off the dust that is on your feet for a testimony against them." And they went out and proclaimed that people should repent. And they were expelling many demons and anointing many sick people with olive oil and healing them. And King Herod heard it, because his name had become known. And they were saying, "John, the one who baptizes, has been raised from the dead, and because of this these miraculous powers are at work in him." But others were saying, "He is Elijah," and others were saying, "He is a prophet, like one of the prophets." But when Herod heard it, he said, "John, whom I beheaded, this one has been raised." For Herod himself had sent and arrested John and bound him in prison because of Herodias, the wife of Philip his brother, because he had married her. For John had been saying to Herod, "It is not permitted for you to have your brother's wife." So Herodias held a grudge against him and was wanting to kill him and was not able to do so. For Herod was afraid of John because he knew him to be a righteous and holy man and protected him. And when he listened to him, he was greatly perplexed, and yet he listened to him gladly. And a suitable day came when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his courtiers and military tribunes and the most prominent men of Galilee. And when the daughter of Herodias herself came in and danced and pleased Herod and his dinner guests, the king said to the girl, "Ask me for whatever you want, and I will give it to you." And he swore to her, "Anything, whatever you ask me for, I will give you, up to half my kingdom." And she went out and said to her mother, "What should I ask for?" And she said, "The head of John the Baptizer." And she came in immediately with haste to the king and asked, saying, "I want you to give me the head of John the Baptist on a platter immediately." And although he was deeply grieved, the king, because of his oaths and dinner guests, did not want to refuse her. The king sent an executioner and ordered him to bring his head. And he went and beheaded him in the prison. And he brought his head on a platter and gave it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother. And when his disciples heard this, they came and took away his corpse and placed it in a tomb. And the apostles regathered to Jesus and reported to him everything that they had done and that they had taught. And he said to them, "You yourselves come privately to an isolated place and rest for a short time." For those who were coming and going were many, and they did not even have time to eat, and they went away in the boat to an isolated place by themselves, and many people saw them leaving and recognized them, and ran there together by land from all the towns, and arrived ahead of them. And getting out of the boat he saw the large crowd and had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. And the hour had already become late when his disciples came up to him, saying, "The place is desolate, and the hour is already late. Send them away so that they can go into the surrounding farms and villages and purchase something to eat for themselves." But he answered and said to them, "You give them something to eat." And they said to him, "Should we go and purchase bread for 200 denarii and give it to them to eat?" And he said to them, "How many loaves do you have? Go look." And when they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. And he ordered them all to recline in groups on the green grass. And they reclined in groups by hundreds and by 50s. And taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves and gave them to his disciples so that they could set them before them. And he distributed the 2 fish to them all. And they all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up the broken pieces, 12 baskets full, and of the fish. And those who ate the loaves were 5,000 men. And immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he himself dismissed the crowd. And after he had said farewell to them, he went away to the mountain to pray. And when evening came, the boat was in the middle of the sea, and he was alone on the land. And he saw them being beaten in their rowing, because the wind was against them. Around the 4th watch of the night he came to them, walking on the sea, and he was wanting to pass by them. But when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought that it was a ghost, and they cried out, for they all saw him and were terrified. But immediately he spoke with them and said to them, "Have courage, I am he, do not be afraid." And he went up with them into the boat, and the wind abated. And they were extraordinarily astounded within themselves, because they did not understand concerning the loaves, but their hearts were hardened. And after they had crossed over, they came to land at Gennesaret and anchored there. And as they were getting out of the boat, people recognized him immediately. They ran about through that whole region and began to carry around those who were sick on stretchers wherever they heard that he was. And wherever he would go, into villages or into towns or to farms, they would put those who were sick in the marketplaces and would implore him that if they could touch even the edge of his cloak. And all those who touched it were healed. Psalm 84, Lexham English Bible. How lovely are your dwelling places, O Yahweh of hosts! My soul longs and even fails for the courtyards of Yahweh. My heart and flesh sing for joy to the living God. Even a bird finds a home, and a swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young near your altars, O Yahweh of hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They can ever praise you. Selah, blessed is the man whose strength is in you. In their heart are the highways to Zion. Passing through the valley of Baca, they make it a spring. The early rain covers it with blessings as well. They go from strength to strength until each appears before God in Zion. O Yahweh, God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. Selah, look at our shield, O God, and have regard for the face of your anointed one, because better is a day in your courtyards than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be at the threshold of the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. Because Yahweh God is a sun and a shield, Yahweh gives grace and honor. He does not withhold good from those who walk blamelessly. O Yahweh of hosts, blessed is the man who trusts you.